For an ad-free listening experience, please check out Sleep Tight Premium. A link can be found in our show notes. Thank you. Hello, I'm Cheryl, and this is Sleep Tight Relax, a weekly bedtime show for anyone who needs good sleep. Our updated version of an old fairy tale takes place in an imaginary kingdom from long ago. We have a princess who loves to read and spends most of her time in the royal library. One day, she discovers a magical bird with beautiful feathers and an enchanting song. This special friendship brings joy and adventure into Eliza's life, teaching her important lessons about kindness and freedom. Before we continue with our story, let's get cozy and take a moment to take some deep, big belly breaths. Breathing in slowly through your nose and slowly out through your mouth. Notice how your belly rises as you fill yourself up with air. Breathe in and breathe out. Notice how relaxing it feels as you release the breath. Breathe in and breathe out. You are becoming relaxed, calm, and peaceful. One more time. Breathe in. Hold. And breathe out. Now that you feel more relaxed, let's continue with our story. The Princess and the Singing Bird. Once there was a young woman named Eliza. She was a princess who loved to read and spent most of her time in the royal library. While other young women were outside spending time with their friends, Eliza was absorbed in books about adventures all over the world. One day, she would be digging for fossils in Alaska, and another day, trekking through the rainforest looking for endangered animals. Eliza's parents were worried that she was spending too much time in the library, buried in books. She had no real friends, only the ones she had made in the stories. Eliza was shy and had trouble making friends. The only place she seemed to be happy was in the library, where she could control the stories she read or the adventures she went on. It was almost time for Eliza to find a partner, and her parents were worried because she spent all her time in the library. How would she ever find someone to share her life with? Her parents tried everything to get her to go out, meet people, and make friends. After months of trying, they gave up. They told her she could spend as much time as she wanted in the library, but when they had visitors, she had to be there and be friendly. They were determined to help her find the perfect partner. The next day, Eliza was reading a fascinating book about a journey through the jungle when she heard a chirping sound. She quickly lifted her head and saw a bird sitting on the windowsill. The bird had beautiful green and purple feathers and was staring right at her. Eliza had never seen such a beautiful bird before. It looked just like the bird she had been reading about in her book. She put her book down and started moving slowly towards the bird. She was afraid the bird would fly away before she got to the window, so she moved slowly and kept looking right at the bird the whole time. As she was walking towards the window, the bird started to sing. It was the most amazing sound Eliza had ever heard. The song was so enchanting that Eliza froze. When the song ended, Eliza felt very happy. She smiled at the bird, and it looked like the bird was smiling back at her. Then it flew away. "Eliza, it's time to get ready for dinner," she heard her mother call. Eliza felt like she was in a trance, staring at where the bird had been. Was it a dream? Had the bird really been there? As Eliza went to get ready for dinner, she couldn't stop thinking about the bird and the song it had sung. She thought about the beautiful bird all evening and hoped to see it again the next day. Her parents noticed that Eliza seemed distracted and hadn't even noticed the people she ate dinner with. The next morning, Eliza ran up to the library to see if the bird was there. She opened the door, and there it was, sitting on the windowsill. Eliza walked slowly towards the window, looking at the bird the entire time. The bird was also looking at Eliza, turning its head from side to side. When Eliza was almost to the window, the bird started to sing again. It was the same song it had sung yesterday, and Eliza froze again, staring at the bird as it sang. When the song finished, Eliza waited to see if the bird was going to fly away again. It didn't, so Eliza moved closer, sat on a bench by the window, and took a piece of paper to try and draw the bird. The bird sat quietly and looked at Eliza while she drew. When Eliza finished her drawing, the bird sang a new song. It was another beautiful song, and after the bird flew away, Eliza found herself humming the song for the rest of the day. That night at dinner, Eliza's parents heard her humming and asked where she had heard the song. Eliza told them about the beautiful bird she had found in the library and the songs it sang. Her parents saw how happy this bird made Eliza. They decided they would try to catch the bird and put it in a cage in the library so Eliza could see it and hear it sing whenever she wanted. The next day, when Eliza went to the library, the door was locked. Her parents told her they were planning a surprise for her, so she wouldn't be able to go to the library for a day or two. Eliza thought she would take her book and walk in the garden instead, hoping to see her beautiful bird again. Eliza settled herself on a bench and started reading. She was soon lost in her story, and after a while, she heard the bird singing again. She raised her head and saw the bird sitting on the library windowsill. She closed her eyes and listened as the bird sang. She was enjoying the song when it suddenly stopped. She lifted her eyes to the windowsill, and the bird was gone. What had happened? Where did it go? Eliza raced inside and up the stairs to the library. When she got there, her parents were coming out of the library carrying a cage, Inside the cage, Eliza could see the beautiful singing bird. Her parents said, "We saw how happy the bird made you, so we caught it so you can keep it with you always." Eliza was so happy. She couldn't believe her luck. She said thank you to her parents and took the beautiful bird for a walk through the gardens, talking to it all the way. After they walked through the gardens, Eliza took a break on a bench with her book and the bird and waited for the bird to sing. The bird sat quietly in the cage, so Eliza took her book and read for a while. Soon, Eliza heard her mother calling her for dinner and realized that hours had passed and the bird had not sung a single note. Eliza put the bird in her room and raced down for dinner. After dinner, she fed the bird and set the cage on the windowsill. But still, the bird didn't sing. The next day, Eliza took the bird outside again in its cage to sit in the garden and listen to her read. She fed the bird the best nuts and seeds, but still, the bird didn't sing. Every day, Eliza took the bird out into the sunny, beautiful garden, talked and read to it, and fed it very well. But the bird never sang. After 2 weeks of doing the same thing, Eliza noticed that the bird's feathers didn't look quite as beautiful anymore, and that the bird was not eating any food. She began to understand that by keeping the bird caged, she was thinking only of her own happiness and not the bird's. She realized how selfish it was to keep such a beautiful creature locked up, just so she could enjoy its presence. Determined to make things right, Eliza decided to set the bird free the next day. That night, Eliza played a song she had written, hoping the bird might sing for her. But it didn't. Eliza went to sleep, sad but determined, knowing that tomorrow she had to let the bird go. Eliza woke early the next morning, feeling sadness and relief. In her dream, she had heard the bird singing again, and it had sounded so joyful. She was now eager to let the bird go, hoping it would sing for her once more when it was free. As soon as the sun started to rise, Eliza took the cage to the garden and gently said goodbye to the beautiful bird. She told the bird she was sorry for keeping it in a cage, but explained that she had only wanted to see and hear it all the time. Eliza admitted that it wasn't fair to keep the bird confined and promised to set it free. With a heavy heart, Eliza opened the cage door and stepped back so the bird could fly out. The bird sat in its cage, turning its head from side to side, looking at the open door. After about 3 minutes, the bird hopped to the open door and sat on the ledge, looking at Eliza. Just before the bird flew away, Eliza thought the bird smiled at her. All that day, Eliza sat in the garden with her book, hoping to hear the bird's song. But all day long, she heard nothing. "Eliza, dinner time," she heard her mom call. So she picked up her book and slowly walked into the castle. During dinner, Eliza picked at her food, but didn't really eat anything. She asked to be excused and said she was going to take a final walk in the garden before going to bed. Her parents were very worried about Eliza. They thought the bird would make her happy, but she seemed sad now. They didn't know how to help. Eliza slowly walked around the garden, not noticing the beautiful flowers or the sunset. She walked with her head down, dragging her feet. She was just about to leave the garden and head to her room when she heard the birds singing. She couldn't believe it. Was it really true? Was the bird singing again? She stood still and tried to hear where the song was coming from. Eliza listened and realized that she had never heard the bird sing this song before. It was the song that Eliza had written. Eliza kept listening and realized that the bird's sound was also different. She turned back into the garden to try and find the bird. As Eliza raced through the garden, getting closer and closer to the song, she realized that it no longer sounded like a bird singing. When she reached the center of the garden, where she had sat with the bird that first day, she saw a handsome young man sitting there, wearing a beautiful green and purple outfit, singing her song. Eliza couldn't believe her eyes. Where had this young man come from? She had never seen him before. And how did he know her song? Eliza slowly walked up to the young man and asked, "Where did you come from? And how do you know this song?" The young man looked at Eliza, turning his head from side to side, and said, "Don't you recognize me?" Eliza looked closely at his eyes and realized there was something familiar about them. The young man started singing again, but this time it was the first song she had heard in the library. Eliza realized she was looking at the bird, but now he was a young man. "How is this possible?" she asked. The young man smiled and said, "When you set me free instead of keeping me, you broke the spell a witch had placed on me, and I turned back into my true form. My name is Ethan." Eliza looked at Ethan, still in shock, and asked, "How can this be real?" Ethan explained, "A jealous witch cursed me to live as a bird until someone showed me true kindness and set me free. You were the one who did that. You took care of me, talked to me, and set me free, even though it was hard for you. Your selflessness broke the spell." Eliza felt a warmth spread through her heart. "I'm so happy you're free now, Ethan. How can I ever repay your kindness?" Ethan smiled and said, "You've done more than enough, Eliza. You gave me my life back. But if you'd like, we can be friends and share our stories and adventures." Eliza and Ethan spent the rest of the evening talking and getting to know each other. Eliza shared her favorite books and stories with Ethan, and Ethan told Eliza about his adventures as a bird. They found that they had much in common and enjoyed each other's company immensely. Eliza's parents were thrilled to see her so happy and friends with someone new. Over time, Eliza and Ethan's friendship grew stronger. They spent many days exploring the gardens, reading together, and meeting new people. Eliza realized she had never been so happy in her life. She had found a true friend in Ethan, and through their friendship, she learned the value of kindness, selflessness, and the joy of sharing her life with others. They continued to support and inspire each other, creating a bond that lasted a lifetime, reminding them both that true happiness comes from the connections we make and the kindness we show. If you are still awake, I would like you to whisper to yourself or just say in your mind, "I am kind and caring to all creatures, just like Princess Eliza. My curiosity and love for learning led me to wonderful adventures. I am brave and willing to make new friends. I am special, and my kindness shines brightly in everything I do. I am calm, relaxed, and peaceful. Good night. Sleep tight."